Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Catatonia's YouTube channel, starring me, the mighty Carlinus. This is Bosses Only, the video series where we look at just the bosses from a dungeon, because you're not stuck on chests, you're stuck on bosses. This is White Gold Tower from the Imperial City DLC. Why is it called White Gold Tower? It's called that because the tower actually used to be gold, but after centuries upon centuries out in the sun, it was bleached white, and so that's why it's called White Gold Tower. Sorry, that's the best I've got. It was really not a very easy thing to work with to come up with a stupid story, so there you go, that's why. So, this is the capital city of the Cyrodiil Empire, in the middle of Cyrodiil, in Tamriel, and it's, you know, during the plane meld, there's all these bad things going on and danger everywhere, and we're going in to stop them. There's some sort of story going on with the Emperor's wife here, Empress Regent 𝕊𝕊𝒂𝒎𝒑𝒔. Now we're going to help her take back the tower or something. So let's just skip to the first boss, if you could call it that. This is the Iron-Swathed Glutton, and he's a flesh atronach with big metal gauntlets on his hands. He's one of those bosses that's not really a boss, that's more like a mini-boss. He's got some heavy attacks, he does all these slow swings with his arms, and occasionally he'll punch the ground and AoEs will appear on the ground that do quite a good amount of poison damage, so avoid them. Really, tank, just turn him toward the door. The DPS are just gonna smack him in the back, you know, the cowardly way, but he's gonna go down really, really quick. He's not even remotely threatening, and once he dies, you can check for goodies. What did we get there? Some fleshfly lava. Those will be handy. Alright, through the door and into the Imperial throne room, where we meet the first actual boss. This is the Adjudicator. She's one of those, what are they called, harvesters. Now, the first thing to do when you start this fight, block, just in case, because she's got an attack where she will pick a person at random and do a bunch of channeled painful stuff to them that can kill them. If she does it to the tank, you're fine. If she does it to one of you, just block to be safe. Other than that, she sets fire to the ground a lot. Occasionally she spawns as, which come running over to smack you, and she will pick a random person and send them to one of those cages, like you can see in the back of the room there, send you to jail. If you're in there, the floor's on fire, and you've got a limited amount of time to pick the lock and get yourself out and return to the fight. She does this after a certain amount of time, not a percentage of her health, so if your damage is high enough, you can actually kill her before anybody gets sent to jail. It looks like one of us did get sent to jail, though, over there. Can't tell who it is. Looks like, it's John, one of our damage dealers, but she's dead. Now, if she dies while someone's in jail, they'll just be let out of jail, so we're fine. Yeah, loot your lockpicks, loot your manganese, and your star metal, and we're going to go around the corner here, and through that door. Where do you think that door's going to lead? I would bet it probably leads to the next boss. And what do you know? It leads to the next boss. Okay, so here we're going to be fighting 3 of Empress Regent 𝕊𝕊𝒂𝒎💑💏's bodyguard, because an Elder Scroll is hidden here, and she's going to get hold of it and go crazy and demand that her bodyguards kill you. So much for helping her out. What a bitch. Obviously, first we have to watch the cutscene as the Elder Scroll is revealed. Let's all stand in the way of it. Oh, big explosion, we all get knocked flying. Looks like the entire ceiling is crumbling away up there. And 𝕊𝕊𝒂𝒎💏 has taken the Elder Scroll and run away and demanded that her bodyguards kill us. So, Mr. Tank, all you have to do is taunt all 3 of these guys and sort of pile them up, and we can burn them all down together. That's really the easiest way to do it. There's one guy who does a bunch of streaking fire, avoid that. There's another guy who does some other fire stuff, and there's a mage who does magical things. Honestly, I've got no idea which one is which. It's kind of hard to tell. But the idea basically is avoid AoE, you know, stay at a respectful distance so you don't get damaged, and bring everything down. I think there's like a Nightblade type guy and a Dragon Knight type guy, as well as a Sorcerer type guy among these 3. But they'll go down reasonably quickly as long as the tank just keeps them together. The damage isn't too great on a tank if your resistance kept, so you should be fine. It's another one where, you know, you're not going to have too much trouble. That really is a lot of fire. Now, fire burns, so you probably don't want to stand in it unless you want your feet to be turned into bacon. There we go, he's dead. Good job. Loot your lockpicks. It's usually lockpicks that I get from loot. And we'll go through this door, which will lead us to the Scion of Wrath. I don't know what Wrath is. Is it sort of like Wrath, but angrier or less angry? Anyway, he's one of those big Daedric Titans, sort of like Bogdan from 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊𝕂 2. He shoots fire into the air, he stamps on the ground, and he dies really quickly. Kind of like the Iron-Swathed Glutton at the beginning, he's not that much of a threat. This next boss, however, who is immediately through this gate, this is somewhat of a challenging boss. Now, the right way to do this would be to just stack and burn if your damage is high enough. Just let the tank go taunt it and everybody just burn her down. But if damage isn't quite as high, do you see the, it looks like a dolmen pinion in the center of the room over there? You can grab that. Whoever holds it will have the attention of the boss, and you can sort of lead her around. Now, every so often, 2 people in the team are going to get a sort of a black and white telegraph above their head. Their screen will go black and white like this, and portals will open around the room which spawn ads. And you'll want to take those ads out as quickly as possible and destroy the portals to stop them from spawning. Then you can get back on the boss. As I said, if you've got pretty high damage, you can just stack and burn on her and ignore the portals. Tank can even chain any ads that get loose into the boss, and you can bring them down. The fire dot that she puts on whoever has her aggro, either because they took the pinion or because they've taunted her, actually does progressively more damage over time. So if your damage in your group isn't as high, then you're going to need to take turns taking that pinion. So once she's dead, move on through this door, and we are going to travel to the future. As you can see, all of our clothes have changed. 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼's race has even changed, because the first time we did this, we didn't actually record hard mode, so we came back later for a reshoot. Because we want to get the hard mode in there so that you can see how to do hard mode, because it's harder and more fun. The only real changes from the non-hard mode, of course, is that occasionally she is going to spawn a 𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼 that is a priority target when it spawns. It needs to be taken down, and needs to be taken down immediately, because it'll target a person and it'll kill them pretty quick. Aside from that, she has a little bit more health and she hits a bit harder. So, to start, we're going to take out the 4 ads that are putting up this like electrical force field around the final boss, 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊𝕂𝔼. Once you've killed all of them, that electrical dome will go away, and you can begin damaging the boss herself. So, tank, make sure you taunted her and keep her turned away from the group. Please. Finally, he has her good. As you can see there from that telegraph, she's got a sort of spinning line of electricity that rotates around the room. You can either move with it, or you can dodge roll through it, or block through it, but you don't want to just be directly hit by it. After you've damaged her a bit, she'll become indestructible. New ads will spawn, another electrical dome will go up around her. She will jump up into the air like this, and when she lands, it knocks you back. Every time she jumps up like that, make sure you go in as close to her as you dare, because each time she lands, that damage gets a bit stronger and knocks you a bit further towards the flaming wall, which will instantly kill you. Ideally, you want to take the ads out quickly, so that you can get back to damaging her, and you'll never get to that point. I'm not even sure if an 𝕊𝕐𝕋 actually did end up spawning for us, but it can happen. The longer it takes with this fight, the more likely it is that you'll spawn one. You'll also see all these little electrical things floating around the room. Avoid those, because when they hit you, they sap your magicka. There we go, she's gone invincible once again. Ads have spawned, take out the ads as quickly as possible. Also at times, this will happen, she'll send out some shock waves of electricity. You can just sort of kite through them, find the gaps. We've almost got her now. Last little bit of damage. And this final phase, you just barely had a chance to see it, but there's actually 2 crisscrossing lines of electricity, which makes it a little bit harder to dodge roll through. In any case, it's not that much more difficult than the regular non-hard mode, so if you're doing this, you may as well go for hard mode. So loot your 𝕊𝕌𝕋𝕼 hat that you can wear, and then up this portal you go. You have finished the dungeon, congratulations. And that was it. If you like what you see, subscribe here on YouTube, and check out the stream at twitch.tv/𝕃𝕀𝕂𝔼. Congratulations, you have beaten 𝕊𝕌𝕋𝕼, the world's biggest slut. Except for your mum.